You wake up tired, not just physically tired, but the kind of tired that sits behind your eyes, the kind that makes worship feel heavy, the kind that makes prayer feel like another task on a to-do list. And the scariest part, you love God. So why does it feel like you have nothing left to give? Christian burnout is real, and it doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like serving every week, answering every text, showing up for everyone, while quietly feeling empty inside. If you're between 18 and 35, trying to build a career, manage relationships, fight anxiety, stay faithful, and keep your spiritual life alive, it can feel like you're carrying too much. Tonight I want to talk about 3 signs you might be spiritually exhausted. Not because you're weak, not because your faith is fake, but because you're human. And even strong believers in Scripture reach this point. Let's start with someone most people wouldn't expect, Elijah. Right after one of the greatest spiritual victories of his life, calling down fire from heaven, proving God's power in front of an entire nation, he ran into the wilderness and asked God to take his life. That's not weakness. That's burnout. Sign number 1. You feel emotionally numb toward God. You still believe. You still identify as Christian. You still show up. But inside, it feels quiet, dry, like the passion you once had has faded into obligation. Psychologically, emotional numbness is a protective response. When your nervous system has been under pressure for too long, when you've been giving, producing, performing, your body pulls back to survive. Spiritually, that can feel like distance from God, but distance doesn't always mean disconnection. When Elijah collapsed under that tree, God didn't preach at him. God let him sleep, fed him, and let him rest. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is recover. If your faith feels dry right now, instead of forcing yourself to feel something dramatic, try this: lower the pressure. Talk to God honestly, even if it's just, "I'm tired," because intimacy grows in honesty, not performance. Sign number 2. You feel resentful about serving. You used to feel joy helping at church, leading small groups, volunteering. Now, it feels heavy, and you secretly hope someone else asks you to step back. Burnout often hides behind responsibility, especially for high achievers, people who hate disappointing others, people who learned early that love is earned through performance. If you see yourself in that, you're not alone. In the Gospel of Luke, there's a moment with 2 sisters, Martha and Mary. Martha is serving, cooking, hosting, doing everything right, and she becomes frustrated, not because serving is wrong, but because she's overwhelmed. Jesus doesn't shame her. He gently points out that she's anxious and troubled about many things. Anxiety plus responsibility without rest equals resentment. If serving God is starting to feel like pressure instead of purpose, it might be time to pause, not quit your faith, but reevaluate your capacity. You are allowed to have limits. Even Jesus stepped away from crowds. Even Jesus withdrew to quiet places. Burnout grows when we ignore boundaries, and boundaries are not unspiritual. They are wisdom Sign number 3. You secretly question whether God is disappointed in you. When you miss a devotional day, when you skip church, when you don't feel spiritual enough, your inner voice gets loud. You should be better than this. You're falling behind. That voice often isn't conviction. It's anxiety. There's a difference. Conviction leads you toward God with clarity. Anxiety pushes you away with shame. The Apostle Paul wrote about a thorn in his flesh, something persistent, something exhausting. He prayed for it to be removed. God's response wasn't immediate relief. It was this: "My grace is sufficient for you." Grace is not a reward for high performance. Grace is oxygen for tired souls. If you're spiritually exhausted, you don't need to try harder. You might need to receive more gently: rest, silence, therapy, honest conversations, Sabbath without guilt. These are not signs of weak faith. They are signs of emotional maturity. And here's something important. Spiritual dryness does not mean God has left you. Often it means you've been running on empty for too long. Burnout happens when devotion becomes driven by fear. Fear of disappointing God. Fear of losing momentum. Fear of not being enough. But the gospel was never about earning enough. It was about being loved first. If Elijah could collapse, if Martha could feel overwhelmed, if Paul could admit weakness, then you can admit you're tired too, and still belong. So here's a gentle reflection for tonight. Where in your life are you operating from pressure instead of presence? What would it look like to slow down? Not out of laziness, but out of trust? Trust that God is not measuring your productivity. Trust that your spiritual life is not a competition. Trust that rest is not rebellion. Christian burnout is real, but so is restoration, and restoration usually starts quietly, with sleep, with honesty, with small, consistent rhythms instead of dramatic overhauls. If this resonated with you, take a breath right now. You are not failing. You are tired, and tired people need care, not condemnation. If this space feels safe and helpful, consider subscribing, not for hype, but for honest conversations about faith and mental health, because following Jesus was never meant to crush you. It was meant to bring life, and life includes rest,